Know your limits. Hello, friend and fellow parent with a son or daughter with autism. I honor you. I see you. I send so much love to you. Virtual hugs. Thank you so much for listening to the Full Spectrum podcast, where my goal is to really support you and encourage you in your journey. I've been on the journey for 27 years. And so I've been through infancy, childhood, diagnostics, adolescence, and adulthood, and still going strong. So many things along the way, so many stories to share and stories to tell, and so much I know that you and I can both identify with. And so this is just my way of simply reaching out and grabbing your hand and holding it when you need a hand to hold, and listening when you need someone to listen. If you need to reach out to me, my email is stephaniestevenshow@gmail.com, stephaniestevenshow@gmail.com. I've got a website with free resources for autism assistance, how to get funding, all about diagnostics, all about the different stages of funding and supports and services. That is on my website, stephaniestevenshow.com. Is that right? Yeah, stephaniestevenshow.com. I ask myself, is that right? So I just today want to briefly remind us, you and me, I'm going to remind myself as well, to know our limits. And this is what I mean. We've got a lot to take care of. We've got a lot to think about. And some of us are single parents juggling many children, responsibilities, or jobs, or businesses, or you name it, we're doing it. And we sometimes forget that we have a threshold. And when we sometimes forget, we start to get real edgy real quick. And I think you probably know what I mean. Somebody asks you a question that on any other day would have landed on you just right. Today, it landed on you all wrong, and you really just want to snap back or let off some steam. But you don't want to do that to somebody else. They don't deserve that. So in order to prevent those kinds of edgy days or the wanting to pull your hair out, it's really important that we get to know ourselves in a way where we can mitigate reaching our threshold. We don't want to reach our threshold and then have a meltdown or need a major break. We need to start to feel when we're creeping toward our threshold of patience or our threshold of so much you can do in a day, or our threshold of how many phone calls you can take or conversations you can have, or, dare I say, the threshold of maybe some of the repetitive and perseverative behaviors that your beloved child exhibits. That can get extremely wearing and frustrating as well. Maybe sometimes you think, my goodness, we have gone over this time and again. We've worked on this in therapy, or we have done this, we have run this quote-unquote program ragged. Why is this still an issue? Why, all of these years later, am I still dealing with this thing and it doesn't seem to want to change, or I can't figure out a way to shape this specific issue or behavior? Listen, I've been there. I still go through things like that. There are still things as it relates to my son and things we've worked on in terms of his verbal communication, his verbal behavior, and his communication with me, and some of the things that we truly have been working on for decades. And I still work on them. I do. And keep thinking one of these days it's really going to click, because I've seen so many other things that I've worked on for years, and then suddenly, there it is. It clicks. Okay, we got it. A lot of times it comes with the requirement of repetition, but I'll tell you, really honestly, mostly it's because when our children, adults or children or adolescents, it's because when our children spend time with other people, all of the things that we work on, frankly, go out the window. So you can be working on something, but if there's any respite time that you have, or if they're in any type of therapeutics for a handful of hours a day, or a day program of some sorts, you know good and well there was somebody else who is not going to follow through on the prompts. They are not going to be consistent in the things that you've been very clear are part of the service agreement goals and desired outcomes. and they're going to fall by the wayside or get lazy with it or forget about it. And it's like starting over on some days. So I just want to encourage you, don't try to be a hero. I've tried it. You already are a hero. You don't need to try. Let me say that first. You are a hero. You don't need to be extra, extra brave and extra, extra heroic on the days where you need a little extra rest, or you need a break, or you need a little bit of quiet, or you need to go do something all by yourself in the solitude of your own car. Know that and start to allow that before you start sliding down the other side of the hill, before you can feel your blood pressure rise, before you can feel sort of that heat flashing through your face when somebody says something too many times, or you've been asked to do one too many things for the day and you just want to be really sarcastic or yell or flee to Fiji. I don't know. I think at some points I've wanted to do all of the above, and have, with the exception of fleeing to Fiji. I've never done that. I'd like to, but just for a short time. Then of course I want to come back. But my point is, I am inviting you to understand yourself and pinpoint your threshold and pinpoint the antecedents to the threshold. When do you know that you're starting to get to the end of your bandwidth for the day, for the hour? How do you know that? What are the signs that you know you can recognize and call out in yourself, where you can, at that point, hit the pause button and take that break, reset, pattern disrupt your own thought processes, your own neurology, grab a change of scenery, go into a different room and do 10 jumping jacks. Go take several deep breaths and meditate for 5 minutes, or find 10 things you can be grateful right here and right now while doing some box breathing. Whatever it is, let's be really mindful and responsible with our own sort of thresholds, and so that we don't accidentally blow on somebody we really care about or somebody we love. And I know you're very careful with your beloved, and I am too. But sometimes I can hear the edgy tone of my voice and some of my responses when I have already met my threshold. And I don't want that, because then I have to feel bad later that I let myself get to that point. And you don't want that, and I don't want that. So just a quick exercise. Pinpoint and jot down some of your specific antecedents. How do I know I'm starting to get too frustrated? I'm getting impatient. I'm feeling my blood pressure rise a little bit here, and I need to now disconnect, step away even for 5 minutes, and allow myself to reset, and then come back into the situation fresh if possible. It's a work in progress. I know. That's okay. It's supposed to be, and it's all good. I am with you in this, as always. So much love to you. I can't wait to see you on the next episode.